been a long time, but I still remember every face. You remember your first? Mine was some tarly boy at the Battle of Summerhall. My horse took an arrow, so I was on foot, slogging through the mud. He came running at me, this dumb, high-born lad, thinking he could end the rebellion with a single swing of his sword. I knocked him with the hammer. Gods, I was strong then. Caved in his breastplate. Probably shattered every rib he had. I stood over him, hammer in the air, and right before I brought it down, he shouted, "Cheat codes."
Forgot to replace that.
Hi, everybody. It's September 21st, 2015. This is episode 64 of the Cheat Codes Podcast. The next hour is us enjoying a couple of beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game tech and pop culture news. We're coming to you from beyond the wall, the ghetto of Westeros. Next season is when the hipsters move in and gentrify it.
Winter is coming.
Yeah. Artisan mayo.
It's cold. Is it cold in here?
Today I'm here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Littlefinger Arroyo.
Oh, the worst character.
He's the best character. What are you talking about?
He's such a snake.
I love it. But he's so good.
Let's just talk about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Cheat Codes contributor, Mr. Nikk Grey Worm Golesh.
Hey, how's it going?
That's probably the best character.
He's pretty badass. And Cheat Codes groupie, Mr. Pearce Hodor Bergh. Today on the show, we'll be mentioning the following topics. Kickstarter has revealed their new charter this past Sunday, favoring altruism over profit, according to the New York Times anyway. Does this strike anyone else as a timely announcement? We'll see. Australia is cutting the geography and history from its school systems in favor of computer science. Who needs to know where they're from or what the statue of that guy in the park is when I can write a Good Day World poker program?
Good Day World.
Let's talk about Battlefront, you guys. Seriously. Will this be the proper EA launch? Is it too much to hope for?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it anyway. And for today's lightning round, we will try to round robin these little bits. Konami is getting rid of out of the AAA business, supposedly. Makes you wonder how much of their money Kojima actually spent making Metal Gear Solid 5. Allison Road is launching its crowdfunding campaign, or has launched, I guess, at this point. The dream of PT is still alive, which helps seeing as how Konami, or Kojima for that matter, sure as hell isn't making it based on above comment. Anyway, right. Game of Thrones crushed the competition at the Emmys last night. 24 nominations, 12 wins. We're going to go over all the fashion hits and misses that were stars that we're wearing. It's going to be great, you guys.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And as many of you may know, and for those who don't, we like to grease the wheels a bit with some freshly poured offerings of the hoppy and craft brewed sort. It loosens things up for a bit. Maybe a lot. We'll see. I suppose you could say. For this episode, we're enjoying some IPAs from the Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado. These guys are really good. They do some fancy stuff. It's bitter, it's sweet, and or bittersweet. Sort of like when watching your favorite Game of Thrones character catch some death. Thanks, beer, for seeing us through those tough times.
I feel like we should have sponsored the Game of Thrones beer for this episode. Actually, now that I think
that would have been a much better idea. Well, we did Almagang last week, I think. But anyway.
Captain Hindsight.
I know, right? I'm going to have a bad time.
Oh, my God.
Pierce, how are you, buddy? Welcome back.
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Glad to be back.
How does it feel to be labeled as a Cheat Codes groupie?
Very accurate, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. And we're glad you're here, buddy.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Winter's coming.
In the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. Just so you know. All right.
You working on any projects this semester?
What's happening, buddy?
Hell no.
Some nothing philanthropic or altruistic?
Not currently. Hey, talk to me in like a month.
Okay. Well, speaking of altruism.
About it.
Hey, segue. Kickstarter.
They're worse when you announce them.
I have to congratulate myself at the very least.
Do it
Kickstarter's internal.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Kickstarter has a new charter. It came out this past Sunday. The two of the co-founders, Yancey Strickler and Perry Chen, are trying to make sure that the mission statement and basically the charter reads as something like it's for the people. They want to make sure that everybody understands that they're not necessarily a for-profit, although they are, but they're not necessarily all about profit is the way I should word that. Instead of selling to the highest bidder or moving to Silicon Valley or bolstering their shareholders' pockets, they're trying to remain and refocus as a public resource. They've reincorporated in Delaware as a public benefit corporation.
A PBC.
That's it. Which means that they're super all about transparency and making sure they give back a certain amount to charity and everything else. Like,
but not really.
Well, 5% of their profits will go directly to charity, specifically in in neighborhoods in Brooklyn where they're actually based out of now. This comes in the wake of a lot of kind of controversy, not necessarily at the behest of Kickstarter, but we talked about last week the whole Washington State judgment that was going to give back, make one asshole pay back a bunch of money to people to back them, which is kind of the first case of that kind. And at the same time, people have been kind of like a little bit pissed at Kickstarter for kind of being a haven for corporate crowdfunding, where things like Igarashi's Bloodstained and stuff like the Pebble Watch, all these companies that already have like money or like have investors kind of lined up, still use Kickstarter as a way to get more money. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do we think? Is this an appropriate time for them to do this? Is it? I think it's appropriate, right? But is reaffirming kind of an image of we just want to be a platform for people to get made, right? That's all Kickstarter is. Yay? Nay?
Yes.
Yes.
From personal opinion standpoint, I think that the article was very well put. I think the things that who was the actual one who was quoted
I referenced
in
both.
the interview though.
Oh, I think Strickler had
It was Strickler. Yeah, okay. Strickler was incredibly elegant with his word choice. Although at the bottom it said edit, we changed stuff to make
from the
his
Polygon
comments more
article you're
clear.
talking about, yeah.
So I don't know if he went back and rewrote his responses in case they were vague. Not important. Let's ignore that part and let's just say they were really, really well written, which also raises a tiny bit of suspicion for me.
Well, one is the New York Times, the other one was Polygon. So pick your poison.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's sometimes when phrasing is too expertly crafted, it worries me a little bit because that means they've put way too much conscious effort,
or
and
they
they're
were
not
coached,
just, and they're not just naturally being transparent. That's a really fucking stupid thing for me to say because I know nothing of that. So it's impossible to really make a comment about it.
We can make all the conjecture we want.
Well, it's tough because I've had some really interesting opinions about Kickstarter from the past.
It's something we
episodes, if you
discussed
listen.
here, at length,
Yeah, and I was tempted to change my tune a little bit by reading this because I think that their mission statement is great. I think that the idea of moving to a PBC, which for people who don't know is a new thing as of 2013,
right?
Where it's like being somewhere in the middle between being a not-for-profit company and just a
for-profit
for-profit corporation.
It's somewhere in the middle.
So it's somewhere between. Like you said, it has a lot to do with transparency and having sort of a mission statement that has to do more about community than it does about making a profit. So you're weighing on the side of not-for-profit. It's kind of the idea of this middle ground.
You're not necessarily going for an IPO. You're not necessarily going for all those things that a lot of tech companies do.
And I think it's a great idea for them to go that way. I think some of the things they had to say about it, where they think that they're going to stand true and stand tall against things like Fig, because people, the same reason why you might shop at one company versus another company because you believe in what they stand for, they think that people are still going to want to go through Kickstarter over Fig because of what Kickstarter stands for, which is taking 5% of their profits and putting them back into charities or schools, education for STEM and stuff like that. So I think that I think they have the right message. I have other things to say, but I'm not going to sit here and rant. So somebody else.
It was good. No, I think it's worth noting too that the whole PVC thing is so new. In fact, that it's only even enacted in a handful of states. So companies out there that are looking to do something similar,
13 or something. I think.
I mean, which is still a good amount, but it's not a bunch. But I think it's. I don't know, maybe North Dakota doesn't have it, but I'm pretty sure that California, New York, Nevada, whatever, Florida, maybe even, I don't know. But it's still a very new thing, and it's a cool kind of way to kind of bridge that gap, that gray area in between, like you said, Joe, not for profit and for profit. So we'll see. I think is it timely? We asked that question at the top. Is it important for Kickstarter to kind of make sure that they address all this stuff? With the Washington State ruling and the whole Fig competition now and everything. There's only a couple projects on Fig anyway. To say that Fig is really a competition right now is not necessarily the right point to make. The point to make about Fig is that they offer equity if the project wants it. Kickstarter is not going to do that.
I guess I will say, in case, because I'm not sure you guys have read the article yet, since this was fairly new, and you drove me here, so you can't read and drive. That was the most interesting thing about it that might spark conversation is Fig has that equity share, which we've discussed on a couple episodes back, right?
Yeah.
And this is the first time Kickstarter has come out and officially announced that they will not make any effort to compete with profit share in that way. They're not going to do equity sources. And their reasons for it were really intriguing to me because they said that the moment that you start making the average populace who's donating to your cause consider whether or not your thing will be profitable, that becomes a factor in their decision to fund you. Then you start getting sequels, you start getting rehashes, you start getting things that are only proven to have already worked. And their whole purpose and their whole mission statement is about creating the opportunity to get new innovative concepts funded. And the moment that people are worried about their return on investment, it's just going to be a natural progression that we get the same old shit over and over again.
It becomes like a Hollywood thing where let's just rehash we're going to clear for the next 3 seasons before even seeing the first episode, that kind of thing. So
I'm glad we got Shenmue 3 then. Only brand new stuff.
I don't think
the whole
that
thing was weird. I don't get
go
that.
ahead.
I'm still kind of upset that Shenmue 3 had to go through Kickstarter to get funded when they literally already have a publisher for the game.
Well, the Polygon article kind of addressed the Shenmue thing directly by saying that it exists under that kind of this umbrella of things like corporate crowdfunding, where there are companies that come in and use Kickstarter as a platform that to garner interest, not necessarily funds. And they address it by saying that like they consider these very special cases that kind of exist in this weird gray area that like it's not the thing that they promote or want necessarily to deal with. And they've made suggestions to the companies where it's like, hey, maybe you should give your employees some like, property rights or stuff, things like that. And obviously these companies would never do that, but they've always kind of tried to at least go to bat and make suggestions, on behalf of the common man, so to speak.
Did you buy this, Nick? I feel like you're not buying it.
Well, I like the idea and I'm behind it. I like the idea of like being able to get new like ideas out there and have people fund it and stuff. But it's all very hopeful, I guess, or something. Like the way they worded it was very elegant, like I said, and it sounded like, I don't know, some speech I'd read in some textbook later or something.
It certainly seems like they're gilding the lily, like you said, Joe. Like I feel like a lot of their responses were kind of prepped.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But good nonetheless. The heart's in the right place.
Good idea behind it, but is it naive in a way? Maybe I don't know. Like, is that the way the market's actually going to go? Are people actually going to follow through with this? I guess like, are they actually going to go to Fig instead and actually to try to make some money back on the investment they're making? I guess.
I think some might. You know what I mean? And that's why Fig is kind of a novel idea. The whole idea of equity sharing, like people that want to have like some sort of say where their money goes and expect some sort of return on it instead of just of getting a copy of a game and a signed T-shirt and saying thanks. You know what I mean? Cool that you guys succeeded in making this thing that I was super excited about. That's the difference between the two for me.
Well, yeah, I agree. And I don't know. It's just I don't like it. It's nice to hear those statements from Kickstarter, and I believe in them. It's just we'll have to see how it actually goes or something because there's so much going on right now. Like companies not delivering on their promise and stuff, and now we have the whole thing where like they have to pay back their dues if they don't actually make what they said they're going to make. And it's kind of like it'd be scary to make something in Kickstarter right now. Like if you don't make it exactly how they want it to be made, and we talked a little bit about this, are they going to want their money back from us?
Yeah, valid points all around. I think he addresses it. I don't know if it was Strickler or the other one that said, this case, specifically the Washington State one, is such a small margin. Like he called it an outlier based on like all our bottom line. The statistic that we reference the most is how many like projects get funded, not the amount of money that comes through.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that actually was just an immediate. It smelled bad. That whole
you
statement.
Didn't like that?
Not even a little bit, because an outlier, a first, is not an outlier. An outlier is in the midst of a large set of data, you have a couple things that are so far outside of that spectrum that they don't align with the line that you draw that determines what the normal thing is, right? Like what the average is or what makes sense for your company, right?
Sure.
So those I'd consider outliers. A first could be the start of an uprising, not an outlier. And this is the first time that they've had a case.
Okay.
Which to me is not a way, you don't address it as an outlier, because this could easily be a spark that sparks a flame, and then there's case after case after case. And that's the thing I think Nick's alluding to when he says like it's got to be really scary right now.
No, and that's where I agree with you.
Make a Kickstarter, because it starts with you didn't make the game at all and we're looking for our money back. And it ends with a couple people who have enough money taking another publisher to court because they didn't make the game they wanted them to make when they initially started. And I think that we're going to see those cases. I don't think they're necessarily going to win, but I think that it's going to happen. And it's going to be really muddy and weird in the next couple years.
So is this whole PBC maneuver then like a way of protecting themselves a little bit versus that? Because I feel like a lot of the legal jargon in their documents and their like terms of use and stuff like that have always been kind of vague anyway. Just so as they should protect themselves. They're a business. Like that makes total sense. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like to what point? You know what I mean?
And maybe it's a step in a direction that we don't understand in legal jumble that
absolutely
protects them.
Totally, it probably is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They're sitting down with their lawyers and like, okay, you guys are an S corp right now, but you could be a PBC.
Well, why don't I understand it? They're supposed to be transparent, you guys. Like, why don't I understand it? Like,
you guys need a monorail in your town.
I think it's like you said, Nick. I think it's the heart's in the right place. I think it's a good move. Joe, you made a good point too, but the whole like the idea that it's not an outlier. This message brought to you by Malcolm Gladwell. It's fine. And
have they really put 10,000 hours in yet?
God damn it!
All right, I'm done.
All right.
No, sorry.
But I mean, there's a certain motivation for the social consciousness of things. 5% profit donation to charities, and they're going to focus on some neighborhoods in Brooklyn that need it. I don't know. Long-term sustainability. They want a platform where people can go get cool shit made. I think that's a good idea. And
there was one more thing
from a high level. That's the idea.
On board, that was cool that they said about the idea that they had a lot of major corporations that came to them and specifically said, "Hey, we want to launch something through Kickstarter. You guys are so successful. Let's do something.
Right.
Let's work together." And their response was a flat no to almost all of them, with the exception of situations where they had an employee who worked on their time and resources to create something specifically through the company.
Right.
And their stipulation was, okay, look, we'll do that if you're willing to give all ownership and rights to that employee of that piece.
Oh, I guess this is what I was alluding to. I thought they were going to spread it around, but yeah. Okay.
But then they said, none of the companies have yet to agree to those terms. So, but then Pearce had a good point. It still doesn't stop there. There's some kind of weird piece there where there's still some major companies that are putting out Kickstarters. So I'm not sure where they draw the line. It's a huge gray area. But I guess maybe Coca-Cola is not going to launch a Kickstarter.
Like Intel or Microsoft, like they're not going to do that kind of shit.
But they could.
I guess they could, but at the same time, like I don't see Pebble watches or even like Shenmue being on the same level. You know what I mean? Like when you do something like Bloodstain from Igarashi or whatever. Like, yes, that's going to get a bunch of money because people are fans of his work and like he's doing it, he's spearheading it. Yes, he's probably got a bunch of other money in reserve coming from publishers like Sony, whoever. Not Konami, guys. Just so you know, it's not going to be Konami.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, in a minute. But at the same time, like, yes, there's a certain amount of weight that comes with it. I mean, you look at something like Star Citizen and everything else, and the whole thing that they're embroiled in right now, where people are like asking for refunds and everything else. Like, it's a weird time for crowdfunding. I think we're seeing kind of like just like the stone skipping off the ocean right now before the boulder goes all the way through. Like it's, I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna like all fall apart or whatever. I'm just saying like like when something revolutionary happens like this, like we all start to see it kind of like rolling back a little bit. You know what I mean? The tide's gonna go out eventually to a certain extent. So
this is a kind of an odd question, and it relates a little bit to what you said with Konami and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Does anybody know, like, is Kickstarter really a thing that actually works in Asia or something? Like, is that something that only, like, America and European countries are using or something?
Well,
like,
obviously not, because if Igarashi and even Shenmue are doing it, then yes, I think Asia
is it really successful over there also?
Well, yeah, it seems like it.
Those were two of the larger Kickstarter campaigns.
But were they kickstarted from people in America or people in like China?
Yeah, I'm curious if that's like Western.
You think they have like people on the ground here that are started like spearheading those campaigns for them?
I don't think that makes sense, because I mean we even did a whole thing where one of our topics was about them donating to the Kickstarter for Shenmue so that they could have
there's that school in China, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think it's perfectly, it's doing perfectly well.
Yeah, and from a high level, I think it is successful.
I didn't know.
That's fine. All right.
Consider yourself no longer curious.
Yeah, but America's the best anyway, so whatever.
You know what we're gonna have to start kickstarting soon?
No.
Geography and history programs in Australia.
Oh my god. So done.
I'm so good at this job.
No.
All right. So apparently,
Good job, Pearce.
ministers of education or whatever department, because I'm not a a savvy guy when it comes to the parliament or structure of
You didn't
how
study that in
Australian-
school.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of your curriculum.
And neither is Australia anymore. They're not going to do it. So they're not getting rid of it. That we should tailor this appropriately. They're scaling back the geography and history programs in their primary schools and secondary schools. Whatever, year 5 to year 7 is where they're trying to influx some computer science by taking away some geography and history to make room for this stuff. Not in the sense they're getting rid of it, but they're going to try and they're not going to make them two separate core things. I think they're going to try and
Mix them
combine it
together?
into one and still offer it
Or
on
what?
a
I
lesser
look
level.
up geography on Google or something. Is my CS elective? Like, I
Well,
learn how to use
not for
search.
nothing. I feel like in the majority of my CS classes, where do I spend most of my time is on fucking Google.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, I'm
right? So
not like discrediting the power of Google or anything.
yeah, fair enough.
No, they're gonna be like write a
Discredit-
program that tells you Hitler's life. You can
I'm going
ask
to parse Mein Kampf.
AskHitler.com.
Yeah. God, Jesus Christ.
Way to go.
Mein Führer. All right. The idea is that they want to get like you mentioned the term STEM earlier, Joe, where the whole idea is that they're very convinced that 75% of most modern world careers are going to center around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or as you call them in Europe and most other countries, maths.
Maths.
The plural. It's maths. I don't know why this is, but it's maths.
What say the full word.
Mathematics.
What's at the end of that word?
Ix.
Period.
Just saying it
It's
makes
S.
logical
No,
sense.
It does make logical sense, but
Just because it's weird doesn't mean
no, being from the lower 48 or whatever, maybe they say in Alaska, like it's maths or something. I don't know.
No, they
Never been
don't.
there.
I don't think they say that.
I know they don't. I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, I grew up, it's math. Like, period. Math, period.
Yeah, but there's different types of math.
God damn it.
Yeah, there are. There are definitely. I mean,
Well,
when
there
you say
are
mathematics
many
and then you say math,
There are many different math disciplines. Yes, I agree.
You don't say histories.
You do say
You
histories.
definitely do say history.
No. What about geographies?
Yeah, that works too. I think.
How many different places are you talking about?
What are the geographies?
but
of
not
these
many
countries?
if you go to school in Australia.
Not anymore.
It's like Geography 101. Do you know your neighbor's name?
Right. So, okay, a little more context and then we'll...
Learn your street.
Here's how to write a check. I feel like this is a very similar situation. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not saying it's a bad idea if you can consolidate some. Like, you don't ever want to cut a program in favor of another. God knows teachers are going to feel pissed off. Like, well, we're going to have less textbooks to work with, and we're going to have less resources, and blah blah blah. And all the fancy CS instructors are going to get those laptops and computers for the kids in the computer labs.
And they're gonna have to pay more because they're in Australia.
Right. Well, yes, a lot more. Absolutely. But this kind of feels like, like when I was in high school, there was a whole problem because they wanted to cut art programs, theater and art classes and stuff, so they could give money to the football team boosters. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, let's play to our strengths is basically what everybody's saying right now.
Well, the football team brings money into the school.
That's true.
The art classes don't.
No, but there's a lot of people out there that still have a lot of passion for that kind of stuff.
Not
And there
every
are people
country is capitalist.
Australia is.
I don't know. I just feel like it's another thing. It's the right idea. This is kind of where the world is going. But I feel like history and geography are important things when you're at pub trivia in Australia that you need to know if you want to win that.
If you want to win pub trivia.
I'm reducing it, but I feel like
it was good.
I feel like, I don't know. I am proud of the history education that I got and the geography education that I got, and I don't know, that shit's important. You know what I mean? I know how to use a map for a reason. God damn it! You know what I mean? I'm
a little torn about this, I guess, because I think it's a good idea in a way. I'm curious on what they mean by CS classes or something, but I really enjoyed history and geography, and it's one of those ones that stuck with me a lot. But I can't really necessarily think of a terribly good use for it. I guess also it's nice to know it, but if you know how to Google and they teach you how to Google properly, then you can look up the history and the geographies.
That's not what these classes are. They're programming classes.
Yeah, they are straight up programming.
I understand.
It's not like how to use the internet. It's not what you teach.
Yeah,
your
but
grandma
grade
now.
5, it is how to use the internet in grade 5.
A lot of it
started
is.
in grade 5.
Sure.
You learn how to use simple programs on a computer or something. Granted, all these kids know how to use these already because they've had their parents' tablets for the past 5 years or something also.
To a certain extent, yes,
Yeah.
they're familiar with Safari.
Yeah, so they know how to use those things, I suppose. But when I was...
They don't know it's shit yet, but...
Yeah, when I was in middle school, I was
It's what they
learning
got
how
to work on.
use programs.
Then
I guess.
they realized how to download Chrome, and it's fine.
Joe, do you know who's gonna win your fucking pub trivia in a few years?
Me?
The
'Cause I'm
guy
older
who
than all of
makes
you?
an app that can hear the questions
dude, I
and
actually-
just dial back the answers
So-
into his ear. That's the guy who's gonna win.
Funny story, and then I want to get Pearce involved here because I feel like he's just getting left out a little bit. But
It's okay.
I was actually at a pub trivia in Queens one time in Sunnyside, and we were sitting in kind of like a side room for where the announcer was doing pub trivia, and then this fucking lady walks in. She's like, she saw me looking at my phone, or one of us looking at our phone, and she's like, "Are you guys using Google on your phones right now to get these answers?" And she like accused us of doing this, and then one of the ladies I was with actually got up and like chased her out of the room and was like, how dare you? Like we would never, demystify or desanctify the honorable ritual that is pub trivia.
Were you guys using Google?
No, we weren't. We were trying to play honestly. I can say that with confidence. You know what I mean? But
They were asking Hitler.
yes, it sounds like what like all
It's called a callback in stand-up.
is okay.
Or in programming.
Or in, I was just gonna say it's a callback function. Hey.
Terrible joke.
Way to contribute.
Bad
Pearce.
You know, hey, my worry is when one of these STEM kids becomes like prime minister and they're like thinking of all these good ideas and they don't know from history and they end up like starting another
Repeating
world war.
it?
Like more concentration camps. Because like, this is a good idea.
That was deep, Joe.
Oh my God.
I guess what it comes down to is like how far back are they? How are they scaling it down? Like, are they not going to be learning world history anymore? Or are they
They're not going to. They're not going to know
It's
where
not-
Australia is.
No. What I would assume is that they're going to just like condense everything, and they're going to be like, here, we're also going to teach you geography and history at the same time in one class instead of two separate classes. And instead of having that second class, we're going to replace it with essentially.
They have those already. I thought. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
do.
know. Well, I used to I'm old enough to remember like home economics classes where they're
Hell
like,
yeah.
guys need to learn how to sew and use like I did that. In
How's
junior
that
high.
working out for you as a skill?
I have a sewing kit upstairs, and when I need to put a button on, I put a button on.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, but I
actually,
figured
that's
out-
better than me. So
yeah, it's way better.
you just put the thread through it and stuff.
To be fair, like I'll just as often take it to like a place where I can get a button put on for me. So
wait,
Your wife?
Nick, is that how you teach that class? You just put a thread through or
Put a
something?
thread through. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like sewing doesn't seem like it's a hard thing to figure out. I didn't have to take a class for it. I don't know.
What about programming then?
putting a
Programming
thread
is
through
hard,
is not necessarily a mutually exclusive process. So
I'll just fucking Google it when I need to put a button on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, do it yourself.
okay.
But somebody had to make that video or write that article or like put up that graphic of showing you how to like sew that button, right?
Yeah, and the internet is a wealth of knowledge, and I will tap that.
You're gonna tap that knowledge.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Knowledge. Oh my god.
No, I think it brings up a good point. In a sense, I think rather than memorizing history and geography, it's more important and a much more useful skill to be able to figure out how to find that information out. I think. Like,
Did you guys have coding classes when you were in high school?
I think they
junior high?
were slightly
Zero,
Not
right?
at all.
not in junior, but maybe some in high school.
None in high
I didn't
school.
Take any, I didn't take any.
Okay, but they offered it onto some very minimal level, like you
maybe
could,
something like
They
like,
did it at my high
like
school.
Java, basic
I
Java or
have
something.
no idea. Yeah. I
Did
don't
you?
remember.
Yeah, they had AP Computer Science.
They definitely do not offer
computer
that
science.
shit
Java.
in
Did
Arizona.
you take that course?
I took a different one, which was run through our college, and so I learned C.
Wait, run through your college or your high school?
Our college. I went to a different high school for that.
I'm so confused by your response right now. Did you have like programming courses in
they
high
have
school?
college classes you can
You
take
take college classes in high school sometimes.
Yeah, it's called AP courses. I get that.
Yeah, he said AP.
All right, but it was offered through his
Then
college.
you were
he said.
confused.
No, through my current college.
Oh yeah, I guess that is kind of confusing.
Right.
Thank you. I thought, for a second, I thought you were confused about what AP was.
Sorry, listener. We apologize.
It's advanced placement. You didn't know that.
Here we go. Okay. You know, okay. The one thing about geography and history, mainly history,
Yeah.
I've learned enough about history to know that regardless of whether we learn it or not, we are still doomed to repeat it. So I'm not sure that it matters.
That's
that
not
much.
the point of history. I think.
Yeah, that seems like the
That's what
main
people
point
say
of
is the
history.
point of
That's
history.
the trap of history.
That's what they say.
That's the trap. That's the trap.
I don't know.
But it doesn't fucking matter because it's gonna happen anyway, right?
It's an endless loop, guys. It's infinite loop.
See,
I just want to break out.
Don't stop. Stop.
Hashtag programmer jokes. Programmer jokes, guys.
Programmer
Programmer jokes.
Yeah, man.
Let's switch the subject.
Yeah. Hey, you know what we should talk about?
Please.
This is
Battlefield. Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefield, right?
Star Wars Battlefield. Yes, that's appropriate. Sure. Sean Buckley, Evan Gadget, and Vicky Blake at IGN kind of had a conglomeration of articles that we pulled from this week where everybody's kind of getting a little excited because they're starting to talk about obviously the grand scale of things and how excited everybody is for Battlefront, and we are among those people, right? We're all excited for Battlefront.
I'm so worried.
Yeah, I'm fucking nervous now.
It's okay to be worried, but I think the idea of Battlefront is an exciting one.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm excited.
at least
Can we
can
just
say
leave it as an idea?
that. Right? Maybe it's just better.
This should never come out.
It's like Chinese democracy.
yeah.
Right, like
That
the thing
did
we all
come
waited
out.
for 10 years. It did eventually, but it was kind of shit. But we all just kind of like really just appreciated referencing it as a thing that might be cool one day when it still didn't exist. We are very aware that EA is one of those larger companies that has a problem sometimes launching games
A lot of problems.
on day one.
Specifically Battlefield 3 and 4.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say SimCity like 2 years ago. That was kind of a
That
fucking
too.
nightmare. And so obviously on the cusp, like Battlefield's like less than 2 months away. I think mid-November, November 17th is the release date. I think.
I think
Like,
so.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
For now.
The beta's coming out pretty
They've made some very cool yet bold statements, and I'll lay them out here. Open beta for everybody. It's happening
For everybody.
for
It's
everyone.
mostly for them to make sure their shit works, probably.
Yeah, but
It's a stress
that's
test.
still
It's a
fucking
stress
cool.
test. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
They're going to do a open beta that includes an offline mode, so a limitation on the DRM aspect of things, which is very cool. And they're going to have dedicated servers to the game itself, which is not something you always see on a game of this scale.
Also not
I
a
was-
great idea.
I was hoping, because didn't they have dedicated servers for all their other ones, though, in the past? All their other Battlefields?
I can't speak to
I
that.
don't
You
know.
might be right, but I can't speak to it. So
They're totally misconstruing what dedicated servers mean.
tell me about dedicated
I'm
servers.
so pissed off about this.
Oh.
Talk to me, buddy.
So, when they say dedicated servers, they usually mean, or most companies mean, people can set up their own servers and you can have a server browser and go find whatever the fuck you
Oh,
want.
yeah, this is not...
And they specifically said they are not going to have a server browser. And so a dedicated server is just a server they own that is running all the time, like every fucking game ever.
That's
Yeah, I was
dedicated
talking-
to Battlefront.
I was talking to Joe.
Like every game ever.
No, not every game ever.
Every
Like
ga-
no,
dude,
no.
the client server
Okay,
model
well,
is
some games,
totally
yeah.
is a huge deal. A lot of them do that all the time, where
No.
one guy acts as the server and the rest of them are clients. This happens a lot.
That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about before it was people could set up their own servers also, and they could be dedicated servers, and people could join the servers.
Yeah, which is what you want.
which is how every other Battlefield had been pretty much, and
Yes.
most of the Call of Duties in the past, I think.
so
You're
some,
saying
no,
you're
Call of Duty
mad-
is like swapped every single time.
Okay.
It's weird.
You're mad because they're going to observe and provide these servers, and so
But
they're still
they're-
doing a dedicated server model, but they're not letting anyone set up a dedicated server. That's your problem, right?
Yes, because I've actually gone back and played like Bad Company 2, and there's still people with servers
game.
up there that EA.
Oh, so your
EA
concern
doesn't
is
run.
that 10 years from now, when you don't give a shit about this game either, you're going to be concerned that you can't play it anymore because they're going to shut down the servers on you?
Well-
when the last Battlefield came out, or Battlefront came out 10 years ago, people are going to want to play this game for another 10 years. Like, are we going to have to wait for another 10 years for this Star Wars
Well,
to come
the
out?
thing is, with,
I haven't heard either of you guys talk about Battlefield until just now.
I don't think we've ever talked about Battlefield in any context on this podcast.
This
before.
is Star Wars Battlefield.
No, I'm just saying, you guys
Yeah.
want to go back and you guys want to play some Battlefield tonight?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Bad Company 2, I'll play
Let's
that
go
tonight.
find.
Not joking, I put it like a few days ago. Anyway, the thing with dedicated servers is that you can set up your own servers for like communities, which people really like.
I don't think they mean it in that context.
They
When
said-
say
No, they
dedicated-
don't. That's what he.
Well,
that's
they
what he
said
has a problem with.
they said no server browser, which means you can't do that, and that's really shitty.
But
Makes me cry.
isn't the purpose of that because people who set up these dedicated servers have a much higher
This
probability
is
of
going to
cheating?
severely
because they
limit
can-
Not
the
at
lifetime
all.
of the game.
What do you mean, not at all?
Because they have like they
You
still
get to design the game based on your own parameters in dedicated servers.
Well,
the
not
ones you're
just, not
talking
just that,
about.
but they still use the same anti-cheat software anyway that their servers are going to use.
You're assuming that there's been
Okay,
anti-cheat
okay, yeah.
software developed for Battlefront already?
They just use a third party.
No, yeah. I mean, like a
To a
server
certain extent.
setup.
Okay. I'm just. Let me go back to my original point in the sense that
I don't know.
No,
EA,
I'm with
like where they're
EA. See, no, and we can go back, but like EA is promising quite a bit here, like open beta, like this is kind of a. I feel like they haven't ever done something on this scale. Obviously, Star Wars is coming out. This is a big fucking deal, like movie wise, and then obviously game wise, like Battlefront is a return to a franchise that is very beloved. And this is the right way to tackle this. Yes, on paper at least, before we
What, the
attach
dedicated server model?
not necessarily dedicated server, but I'm even saying like open beta and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like an offline mode and everything else that gives like not just like a taste of one game mode, but multiple, and then still being able to like have a lobby with friends.
So what you're saying is
cool
like
shit.
Okay, I just want to get your point of view. You want to say like this is great. EA is doing a good job because they're releasing dedicated servers and they have a beta for this game.
All signs are pointing to that EA is maybe finally getting a launch correct for a high-profile game.
Well,
All signs are. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying the signs are pointing.
signs aren't pointing.
We've been.
Unless it's an
Here's the
Arrow
problem. Like
sign.
we've been down this road multiple times with EA though.
Many times.
And why should I expect this one to be any different? I mean, they've already dug like this whole. I don't know, like it's.
So you're not going to pre-order Battlefront, are you?
I'm not pre-ordering it, and I'm not even. I'm going to wait like a while to see how it goes, and it's probably not going to be good at first. I'm expecting the first month to not be playable on the PC.
Absolutely. I think that's just going to be true all the way around.
I hope they're listening, man. I hope they fucking prove us wrong.
No,
I really
EA doesn't
do.
care. They want to push the game out, get the money for it, and
Correct.
fix it later.
Yep.
That's how EA works.
Absolutely.
That's every game they put out.
Sorry.
It hurts me
Sorry,
in my
Erskine.
heart how right you are, Nick. I got to tell you.
Well, I hope he's fucking wrong. I mean, even he probably hopes he's wrong. He's not going to say it, but
Right, and
he
that's
does.
that's kind of
It's
like the
there. It's
angle
in
that
his
I've been
head.
trying to take for this conversation. But like he's right. He's God damn it.
Look, you be a cockeyed optimist, and we'll all be realists.
I'm
And
pretty sure Battlefield 4 still does not function well on on the PC. Like
Fuck.
I want to go get that game so bad and like play a Battlefield game.
that game
that's
came out
new.
like 2 years ago.
Hardline or 4?
Hardline's worse.
Hardline's worse.
Yeah.
I haven't even paid attention to that
It's
one.
not actually as fun.
Yeah, like you can't release another after you haven't fixed the previous.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Well,
It's
not
like
for
Assassin's
nothing.
Creed all over.
Hold
again.
on, but like I mean, doesn't 343 had that problem because like Master Chief Collection isn't
Yeah.
fixed yet, and now 5 is coming.
Right, and
is
I have
imminent.
no hope for 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
you're on that. No, fair
zero
enough. Okay.
hope for that
All
game.
right.
If you
Are you kidding me?
You can't fix a game that you released 2 years ago or something. I mean, come on.
Yeah, okay, look, we don't really come in here all the time and just get on a fucking pity party and bitch all the time, but right now it sounds like it because
We do. Yeah, it does sound like it right now.
Look,
I want
I-
to be hopeful, but I think you guys are right. I think you're right. But I'm trying to be hopeful. Like it's a big fucking year. Like this holiday season is going to be a huge. Like the release schedule is crazy, and I want to fucking like dip my balls in it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
but
just, my
Wow.
my friends
you just never
are,
watched The State. I'm too.
my friends that I play a lot of
God
PC
damn it.
games with all the time. They're all like, okay, we're gonna go have to buy a PS4 so we can play Battlefield because
Yeah.
it's not going to be like functional on the PC.
Oh, it's
None
a
of them-
conspiracy.
none of them are convinced
to sell
either.
PS4s.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy to sell PS4 probably.
PC Master.
So
PC Master Race.
I
damn
played the beta for Battlefield 3 and 4, and all they had in both of those was just one level, and that was it. They didn't really show much.
They're gonna have more of that for sure.
Are they actually going to do that for the beta?
So this is what they're offering. I'll give you a quick description of the stuff that they're coming through
For the beta.
For the beta.
Confirm for the beta.
It seems like every time we see this is quote unquote from one of the Battlefront people. It seems like every time we see Star Wars Battlefront, it gets a little more exciting. Small but epic missions, huge multiplayer battles, aerial combat with up to 20 players. Can this game possibly live up to its own hype? You're going to find out. Yes, you personally. EA has announced that the Star Wars Battlefront beta is going to be open to everyone. It's more than just a simple multiplayer beta. This preview has a little bit of everything. Competitive players will be able to try out the Walker Assault and Drop Zone game modes, staged on Hoth and Solace maps, respectively. Players looking for a more solitary experience will have access to a survival mission mode, compatible with offline solo play and local and online co-op. Not bad. Unfortunately, EA still isn't sure when you'll be able to download the beta. That sounds appropriate. Just that it'll be available to all Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 owners later this year, which means before 2016. So that's a pretty fucking that's a dope ass beta program if I've ever heard of one. No, like
yeah.
Can they put
I'll
off-
check it out
Can they release the game in 2017 when it's finished? Like that's what I want.
no
them
game
to
is
say.
ever finished.
when
Nick.
it works.
I know.
Look, here's the one thing I actually like about this. Making it public beta to everybody is they're going to crash and burn horribly in the beta. I know that's going to happen.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
All right,
That's
absolutely.
understandable.
We know
It's a
that.
beta.
Understandable, but not to the
It's just
average
fucking stress
populace
test.
anymore because
Sure.
they think that beta means I get to play it early. Not that it's not done. They don't think that way, okay? They just think I get my hands on it.
Public beta means the game's done.
Yeah, sure. But what they're doing right now is they're working out the problem that I foresee. That this is why I'm happy they're taking this route, right? Because the problem is it's really, really fucking difficult at this stage in the market to figure out how many dedicated servers you need. And when they're going to their publishers and they're finding out what they need funding wise to actually buy the number of servers they need to support this type of load, it's ridiculous. So
If only people could put up their own dedicated servers to play.
yeah, okay, right? Okay, no, I'm with you there. I'm with you. But they're not doing that, right? So the other answer to that, which hasn't really been done that often, is public beta for everybody. Let it crash and burn horribly because they'll forgive you. It's Star Wars. They'll play it when it comes out. And then just figure out there what kind of interest they really have. And maybe it helps them. Maybe it's a tactical move on their part to go to the publisher and be like, look what just happened. This would have been launch day if you
As
guys
opposed to a marketing move.
Yeah, like you guys didn't give us what we needed. Now we need more, and we have to. And I think that's brilliant because that's kind of the business model we're in right now. Is you have to constantly prove to your publisher what kind of money. You
Well, we're in a business model where open betas are used as a marketing ploy, not necessarily a testing phase. You
and
know
that's
what I mean?
not this case.
No,
I think they're really
it doesn't
testing
sound
it.
like it. Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
it's
a little
stress
backwards.
test.
I think, in my opinion, and I don't know exactly how it works, but they would not be given the option to do an open beta if EA didn't let them. I think EA.
Oh, you're not
So-
wrong about that.
Okay, fair enough.
So
You're probably right.
They need, because EA needs to provide the money for the servers probably, so that they can put them up. So this is EA's call that they want to do the open beta or something, and if it'll give them more of an opportunity to correct a mistake. Still, like, do we need to buy more or something?
It's
I actually think you're right.
As much as
Now
we
you
might
said
bitch
that,
about
right.
EA to a certain extent, though, like they have to learn a few things from these failed launches, though, right?
I
So
don't
like
think
trying
they
to
have.
set these,
Well, they're doing something different.
they are.
right?
But this is what this tells me is that they're this could crash and burn too, and we'll see. And that would be a very EA thing to happen. But at the same time, maybe this is a large success and points in a direction of a better rollout for a game of this, scale and magnitude. You know what I mean? We'll see.
I'm hopeful. I want
Me
the game to be
too,
good.
man.
And
Is it a new hope?
no, it's not.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. I'll be here all week.
I'm excited that you get to play the Jedis.
You get to. There's the whole hero system. You get to-
I'm not excited about that at all. I didn't like that
dude, I
about the
wanna
second
play-
one.
They
I
tried
wanna-
to do that before, so
I
now
wanna
they're
play
just
as Boba
returning.
Fett
Now
so
they're just
bad.
returning the Jedi.
I like the whole idea where, like, you're just like a stormtrooper or something going around.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good, dude.
I want to be an at. That's all I want to do. I just want to walk around and stomp on people.
You can
I
do that.
skipped one movie though. We should have tried to pun in the second, and then it would have been good.
I'm not gonna shoehorn it. All right, it's fine. All right. Thank you guys for making it through the main topic section.
You're welcome.
Do you know what time it is?
Yeah,
Joe, what time is it?
it's lightning round. That's the worst thing.
Oh, you used to have the sound effects.
Oh, in case you guys didn't know, like a storm just started.
I can hear the rain. The
Sorry
thunder.
about the thunder.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
So Konami's getting out of the AAA business, guys. Reportedly, rumors getting passed around that they are done putting money into it. There are a couple exceptions. They're going to keep doing PES, the Player 11 soccer game that they do, which is like the rival to FIFA. And they're going to finish up Metal Gear Online, and that's it. They're done. This has been kind of like indicative of a large piece of, I don't know, the puzzle with Kojima leaving and everything else, and now kind of with Phantom Pain coming out, they don't want to do it anymore. Konami's not just a video game company; they have a bunch of different interests and moving parts. That blah 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 blah. Is this a good or bad thing? Go, Pearce. You have 1 minute to talk about Konami getting out of the AAA game.
Thank God. Okay. So I feel like there's a lot of mystery around why Kojima was let go and why people are jumping ship from Konami that worked on like the Fox engine. I would kind of want to know what happened there. It maybe has to do with them going to AAA, but it sounds like Metal Gear Solid 5 has been doing really fucking well. And so that kind of makes me sad that there's just not going to make any more. And like with Silent Hills being canceled and everything like that.
So sad.
So sad. I think mobile games are dumb and I hate playing them. And so I hope I never have to work on them. And it makes me feel bad that a company that has such a long history like Konami is moving just to mobile games. It's like no other company has done that. It's really stupid, and I wish they wouldn't do that. It'd be that.
Are you ceding the rest of your time, sir?
Oh yes, I cede.
You did well.
All right. I'm going to give you +1 for making some good points, and I'm going to give you -1 because saying that companies haven't moved into the mobile space, because that's not true at all. Companies are doing this more and more all the time. Konami being one of them. So you're at 0.
You gave me no examples of other companies.
Don't worry about it. Next.
Nikk, you have 1 minute to talk about Konami leaving the AAA games.
I don't have too much of an opinion about this, I guess. I guess I thought the whole Silent Hills thing was overrated. The PT thing was cool, but I didn't give a crap about the whole Kojima Del Toro like mashup or something, like it was going to be some like godsend or something of video games. I didn't care. So I'm going to talk about Metal Gear Solid real quick because that's what I remember about Konami. And that was, I guess, my entry to like real games being stories and everything. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I remember playing like the whole first disc of the game without saving, and then in my PlayStation, when I was going to switch the disc over, I pressed the power button instead of the open disc container.
Master Race.
And I lost my save.
The end.
The end. And that's my Konami story.
+1 for Nick's Konami story. Oh my god.
That's when he switched to PC. I get it.
The current score stares at Pearce at 0, Nick with 1. Mr. Arroyo, you have 1 minute to talk about Konami going out of or leaving the AAA space.
Okay, I'm going to agree with Pearce right away because I actually think that it's really fucking odd for a AAA company to move to mobile. I know that you were saying that companies don't go into the mobile market, but I think that's absolutely... Yeah. For the most part, though, like large companies don't go from making AAA titles to mobile. Some of them might be. Maybe this is the dawn of that, but I don't necessarily think that's the right move, especially with such an oversaturated mobile market. It feels really weird to me. I'm also fucking so goddamn bummed that Metal Gear is going to disappear on me because it was definitely the thing... Much like Nikk, when we would go grab beers at our very first PAX and talk about how we both got excited about games because of Metal Gear Solid. And so I'm there's like a single tier, right? I'm like, yeah.
It's a Kojima boner.
It's the yeah. I got the Kojima boner and I'm crying while I have the boner. So that's how I feel about it.
I'm gonna give +1 to myself for Kojima boner reference, and then I'll give you +1, Joe, for referencing the first time you guys had beers together. That's nice.
I thought you were going to give me a +1 for crying with a boner, but that's fine.
That's, you know what? +2.
Yeah!
All right, +2.
You can argue your points.
He does it all the time.
All right, so Konami, I wish you well. Will I play your mobile games? I might try them out.
No.
If they're free to download and your stupid micro transactions are easy enough to navigate and avoid, I might try it out. I don't play many soccer games. If I do, it's FIFA, so your PES stuff can like my butthole. But Metal Gear Online, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been really excited about Metal Gear. I've been playing the shit out of Phantom Pain. It is incredible. And I love you for it. I love Kojima for it. And it's what a true open world experience should be. I'm just going to say it. It really is just amazing. Everything. The emergent gameplay is something to behold. And it makes me sad that you guys are going to leave this because of this. Like, you guys are creating, you set the bar essentially for an open world experience. And now you're leaving. You're pulling a Cosby Show. And I'm done.
You're still playing Phantom Pain? Didn't that game come out?
Oh, God, shut up. +1 for love letter to Konami.
That's how I spent my minute. It's my goodbye. It's my Dear John letter to Konami, I guess. But I don't know. Any last thoughts? We can open it up before a little bit.
I just want to talk about Kojima because fuck Konami, and I want to know what he's going to do next.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
The answer is movies.
I mean, to say that Kojima leaving Konami means he's done is kind of dumb, right? He's obviously going to
the whole idea of him working on another Metal Gear Solid is done. Is my idea.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but he's probably going to do a movie. I think that's.
I think movies is where it's headed for him. It should be. It should be where
Perhaps an interactive movie.
No, new Final Fantasy movie.
All right.
Spirits Without. Please.
Spirits without a director.
All right. Next.
Oh wait,
what?
Wait, really quick.
Go.
Did you guys see the hideoyourgame.com?
No.
Okay.
No.
Go check it out. hideoyourgame.com. I'm pretty sure that's the website. I'm like 90% positive.
Okay.
You can put in any YouTube address and it will just randomly show up. It'll play the video and it'll put like directed by Hideo Kojima or like based on scribbles by Hideo Kojima
That's
or
amazing.
whistles hummed by or whatever. It's the most random thing ever and it's great. Their example video is like a horse playing a piano and it's like directed by Kojima. All right, I'm done.
That was good. That was a good shout out. Next, the PT spiritual, speaking of Kojima, spiritual successor, Allison Road, has officially launched its crowdfunding campaign. They're well on their way to a projected a little less than £400,000. It's been launched by Little Studios, the guys that are making it, the people that have been in the industry for a little while, made a bunch of different games for different franchises. Everybody doesn't know, Allison Road is kind of the thing that I think it started off as kind of like a remake of PT when it was understood that PT was going to go away, and then they kind of nailed it on a really positive way, and now they're making it a full experience of a game, very much kind of like an homage to PT, but like kind of where we were hoping that Silent Hills, for instance, might have gone. Go donate your money. How do we feel about this, guys? Nikk, you have 1 minute.
This is a little odd question to ask me considering I just said that I didn't really care about PT.
This is why I wanted. I just want to get you out of the way.
So go ahead.
+1 for continuity.
It's cool. I didn't hate the game. Like, I watched Joe play it the entire time. There were some parts in PT where it was a little bit frustrating, so I'm sure they'll... But, I mean, it was just like a little bit of...
A little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit... It was fun, though, I guess. PT clone? I don't know. I guess... Yay. I think it could be a good thing. I don't know. It's not Alien Isolation.
Okay. The
Are
end.
you done?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
-1 for trailing off. +1 for bringing it back with the Alien Isolation. How's that? All right.
Still haven't beat that game.
He was
It's-
up 1 on that.
It's so stressful.
Yeah, you're still +1. It is a very stressful game. Thank you for mentioning. That's becoming like your new Eve insert, where you need to make sure that everybody knows that you haven't finished fucking Alien Isolation.
Horror Eve.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Pierce,
my nightmares.
Yeah.
ours too, buddy. You have 1 minute to talk about Allison Road.
I'm gonna nail it. All right, so since Konami's no longer making AAA games, and hopefully they're probably not gonna put a spooky horror game on mobile, I'm all for them making this PT clone because PT's never gonna come out, neither is Silent Hills, and this is gonna fill that void and that people really wanted, and I think that's awesome. And props to them. I hope that it gets crowdfunded. Probably already has, or I don't know. I haven't checked it out, but watching my friends, we watched somebody play through it in like a group of like 8 people, and people were still getting scared, and it was pretty cool. I really liked PT, even if it was just a short demo, and I wish that it came out as a full game. And this one should be cool.
Also trailed off.
Yeah, -1 for
But
trailing off.
Alien Isolation, I haven't played it.
+1 for isolation. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what?
Give your
Yeah,
points.
so -1 for trailing off, and then +1 for Alien Isolation, and +1 for making sure that everybody understands once again that this game is hopefully going to happen and get funded. So, way to stay on topic.
1 point.
Okay, Mr. Arroyo.
Okay.
You have 1 minute
All right.
to talk about Allison Road.
Here we go. Alien Isolation.
+1.
Okay, so
+1.
so I actually saw the gameplay demo for this, and The physically based rendering looks great. They moved to Unreal Engine instead of using Fox Engine. It looks super cool. It's very, very, very fucking similar to PT, which is really cool. The part that I don't like that irks me to no end is that I watched it for like 15 goddamn minutes and all I saw is a guy opening cabinets and turning on fucking sinks. And I'm sorry, but there was no tension at all, nothing until the very end. And I don't understand why you would release a gameplay trailer that I have to sit through for that long. This is the age of ADD, people. Like, make some shit happen quickly, okay? Especially in your pre-alpha, because I will say it looked great. It felt great. I'm still down for the idea. I really want to take part in it, but they have to show you something earlier because it looked great at the end.
+1 for using your minute wisely. That was good.
God, I had so much more to say.
You'll get an opportunity.
God, I was gonna go back to Alien Isolation.
It's too late now.
Yeah, you know what game does have tension?
Isn't it that bridge builder game?
No.
Yeah. So, yes, Konami not making AAA games. Somebody decided that PT was awesome enough, and that the idea of a Silent Hills made by GDT and Hideo Kojima could happen. So they passed the torch or dropped it essentially, and somebody else picked it up. Awesome. Really excited about it. Let's hope this, gets the funding it needs and sees the light of day, because from what I understand, all they want to do is make something that's less about flash and circumstance and more about substance and narrative and horror. That's exactly what horror needs. We can all go and watch, a Wes Craven film when we need a little bit less interactivity and just want to get scared a little bit. You know what I mean? Shout out to our boy Wes Craven from back. Wes Craven.
We know you're listening.
He died actually.
Don't turn on the sink.
What I'm saying is that Allison Road is exactly what we need. For all platforms, PC and console. So let's make it happen.
I don't know. I feel like they got a high...
+1 to myself. Do you mind if I reward some points to myself?
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
I'm not going to do that.
Can I talk now?
Yes.
Whoa!
They got a lot to top after Until Dawn, I think, though.
Yeah, Until Dawn was fucking the shit.
Everything you just mentioned, I feel like I got from Until Dawn already. So,
well, I was really excited to play it, and then Joe told me that he just bought a digital copy because I was going to trade you Metal Gear for Until Dawn. So,
why don't you just
both
get the
of our
game?
losses? I guess
I have Metal Gear 2 now.
Yeah, so why don't you just get the game?
I already started it.
You can come over. We're gonna play it for Halloween.
We are actually. We're gonna host
Until Dawn.
We're gonna host a 3-week long Until Dawn playthrough where all of us come over.
You can't leave for those 3 weeks. It's awful.
Yeah, 3 weeks total. Yeah, no, I mean like once a week, for 3 weeks in a row. You come over on one day of the week, and we're all gonna play through it together. Because
like 3 hours sit down.
Yeah, 3 hours sit downs
enough.
each time, and then we'll be done. By the third playthrough.
That's cool. You guys should stream the shit out of that.
Well,
No, because we're just gonna have people over.
You'll be there.
I'm telling you, this game is such a storytelling
It's only
masterpiece.
like an 8-10 hour game anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So 3 sittings, and we'll all be done. And it's like watching 3 movies on, and we'll space it out a week so you don't get tired.
yeah, I sat down and watched Joe play the whole thing over multiple days.
Right. I really want to check it out.
Okay, well then that's gonna happen. It's gonna be great.
We'll put the controller in your hand.
Oh.
And if PT can pull off something like that, and by that I mean Allison Road, that's fine. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be called PT.
Yeah, it's AR, PTAR. I don't know. ARPT. Horrible. Okay, last lightning round topic. Game of Thrones won 12 Emmys last night. They were nominated for 24. They set a new record for any show winning that many at one time. Holy crap. Andy Samberg hosted. I didn't watch it. I was watching football. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, all right,
The
really?
Packers were playing.
Well, we're full disclosure, we're all in a fantasy league together playing football. And I feel like that may be like an alienating statement to some of the listeners because, like, you sports and stuff, but whatever.
The Packers were playing.
Exactly. And we live in Seattle and the Seahawks are playing. So
Which team did you root for?
I rooted for the Packers until Eddie Lacy got hit. Anyway, this is an opportunity for us to discuss how awesome Game of Thrones is, I guess.
Or any opinion?
Or any opinion. This is kind of a shit way to finish the show. But
Do it.
fuck
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. We're in between seasons at the moment. We'll try to be spoiler free as best as possible, but at the same time, congratulations to everybody. Like, come on, it's got to be one of the best shows on television. Winning 12 Emmys is fucking huge, so congratulations to them. Honestly, that's ridiculous. Joe Arroyo,
Okay.
you have a minute.
Okay.
To talk about Game of Thrones.
All right, I'm going to start by not talking about Game of Thrones. I'm going to talk about how fucking hilarious it was to watch all of the announcers on NBC for the game that was on, the football game, talk about how you should hang in there and watch the Emmys instead of the Sunday Night Football game on Fox.
Oh, you said
Or the other way around.
other
Wait.
way around. Yeah, you said
Sorry.
NBC.
NBC?
No.
Fox.
No, you said
NBC.
all the announcers on NBC announced that they should watch
Lightning round.
instead of
Shut up.
watching Fox.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so opposite, whatever. Like, basically, they were like, oh, stick around for the Emmys. And then, yeah, nobody actually, none of them wanted to watch the Emmys, and you knew it. And seeing it in their eyes, they had these, like, dead eyes trying to tell you to watch the Emmys instead of the football game that they were going to leave and go watch after this was over was hilarious. And also, I think Emmys is best watched post facto. Just watch the highlight reel.
Yes.
Like, maybe some of our listeners would argue I should be watching sports, but that's fine. Let's not worry about that part. All right. Also, I do think it's cool, Game of Thrones and shit. I love the show. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything about it except winter's coming. Okay, cool.
I was hoping we were going to say that.
That's what you were gonna say.
No, I wasn't. I was gonna
+1 for striking a chord with me because I felt the same way about watching the game last night.
Can you give out more than 1 point?
Yeah, why aren't we doing like millions of points?
Just no,
And
you
you
guys
give
aren't
me, like,
making
30 points.
You guys aren't making those.
I'm
goals.
gonna get a million points.
Winter's coming.
Plus 32 degrees Celsius. I don't know.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah, nothing. Okay, great.
That's pretty hot.
Pearce Bergh, you have a minute to talk about Game of Thrones.
All right. Well, I'm one of them book readers, so I read all the books before the show even started, and because of that, I feel like the show's not that good. But just a little bit. I'm just kind of like biased because I already know what happens in the story, and
All the books aren't out.
I know, and they're about to go into. They've already started going into new territory on the show, and I'm kind of worried because it's different from what the book's going to be, and so I don't know what I expect. But I don't. The show doesn't strike me that much as being so fantastic and being worth 12 Emmys. Why didn't the Daily Show win all 12? Like best drama or whatever. I don't care.
+1.
So I mean, I guess maybe I'm in the wrong.
+2.
Oh, God.
Maybe I'm in the wrong for not thinking the show's that good, but everyone else does. Or it's the Illuminati.
Checkmate, atheist.
Checkmate, atheists.
Okay.
Nick Golesh.
Hey, how's it going?
How familiar with the Game of Thrones are you?
I'm not that familiar. I've seen part of the first.
Great, you have a minute to talk about it starting now.
Like I said, I watched part of the season, not even the first few episodes. Joe's sister-in-law was over for a week or something, and she decided to watch a few of the episodes, and I was like, okay, I'll watch them. And that's all I really saw of it. I know a lot of the spoilers because I read stuff, and I know what the show's about. And the Khalisti girl, she was
Khalisti? Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
Let's keep this.
Yeah, keep going.
she was in the Terminator movie that I saw with Pearce.
True story. Keep
Yeah.
going.
And I thought that was kind of cool. But I distinctly remember the South Park episode where the dragons didn't come and it was just a bunch of penises. And they weren't erect because it's threatening to female viewers.
All right. Can I? You have no time left. Stop. Nick wins the lightning round today. Plus +1 billion points to Nick. I don't know how else to end that. That was amazing.
Well, it went better than you thought it was.
It went amazing is what it did. It went shit. It was, it was good. It was real good. Folks, I don't know how to walk away from this after that. It's a bunch of limp penises because the dragons didn't show up, you guys. Shit. Unbelievable.
I feel like Butters.
Don't we all? That's
I'm a cramp.
Chris Chris Morris is going to get mad at us for doing that, but I feel like that should be the title of the episode. Is I feel like Butters.
It's too long.
Yeah, it's definitely too long. Apparently, we're gonna wrap it up.
We should call it Khalisti.
Are you thinking of like Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean?
No,
Don't worry about it.
You're thinking too hard about
it's
it.
Khalisti.
It's just because he has no idea how to say it. It's fine. We're gonna wrap it up. It's been episode 64. Thank you guys for listening in. We're very excited. Before we go, we want to do a quick shout out to Stephen King. Happy birthday, buddy.
We know you're listening.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Huge view.
I like that Shawshank Redemption movie.
I have. I'm a big fan of Stephen King, so I got reminded by Nick that it was his birthday. In fact, how he messaged me was saying, he's like, "Hey, you have a big boner for this guy. We should mention this on the show." And I said, "Yes,
That's
you're right."
threatening, Joe.
No, and I said, "It's that's right. It's comparable to the size of your Eve boner." So, since we mention Eve all the time, it's worth mentioning Stephen King's birthday. Happy birthday, Stephen King! And also congratulations, he's getting honored this year by the president in the White House for he's getting the presidential honors for arts and literature after all these years.
For what? I'm sorry.
Arts and literature.
Okay.
Yeah. He's an American treasure. We're lucky to have him. It's good stuff.
I think he would appreciate this shout out.
I
really do. Like, thank you, Stephen King.
Written, but yeah,
we have a giant boner for you.
That's the title.
Come collect your boner.
with a face of a horrifying clown on the front,
And we
lunging at you. I don't know.
It's called It.
Yeah, right.
and we accept your apology
Pennywise.
for the Miss movie.
Oh my god.
He wrote the story. He didn't make the movie.
I said
Wow.
we
All right,
for
you
the
know
Miss
what?
movie.
God damn it, Nick. I can't take you anywhere. All right. Listener, thank you for listening in. We appreciate your patronage and your devotion to
your
our
patience.
and your patience. Absolutely. You can talk to us. Come visit us at cheatcodespodcast.com. Hit us up on the Facebook and Twitter. Make sure to tell your friends. Make sure to, spread the word, and we appreciate it. We're going to be back next week. We got a bunch of good guests coming in the next few weeks as well. We're eventually going to get back on the whole prize boat at some point. Some Steam giveaways are coming. Not yet, but soon, I promise. And in the meantime, we love you. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.